fun and games in today's show. Well, from one game to another, this one's a game of scones. Now, scones are a traditional afternoon tea option, and here we're going to make our very own. The first key is to make sure you work really light and fluffily. So we're going to fluff up the flour, self-raising. Sophie, you're on the sifting job, so get right on that. Pour the flour into the sieve and get sifting.
Nice technique there, Sophie. Have you done that before?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell.
Very impressive work. Now, Angus, we're going to get into rubbing the butter into the flour, and the key here is to just use your fingertips. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Thank you, Sophie. Well done. We pop the butter in here. There we are. We've chopped the butter. It's room temperature, and we're just going to use the tips of our fingertips to rub the butter into the flour. So get in there. Being a violinist, you'll have light work of this. Lovely. Keep going, and you want to sort of be flicking. Sophie, do you want to use that motion, the flicking of the fingertips? Rubbing your fingertips together nice and lightly. Get in there. Many hands make light work. Lovely work. And you're almost pinching the flour and the butter together. Yes, good work.
Nice.
Lovely. And you know when you've done enough, when the butter and the flour have combined into little blobs.
What does it feel like, Angus? Is it?
It's like flour, but it's much thicker.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a nice, rich, buttery mix. Great job. And we don't use a food processor, we just use our hands because we don't want to activate the gluten. We want it to be nice and crumbly. Wonderful work. Now at this point, we're going to add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt as well. Good job. And we're going to rub that in as well. Get your hands in there. Sophie, have you made scones before?
No.
No. Seems pretty easy though, doesn't it? You'll be a scone pro after this. And the CWA, or the Country Women's Association, make thousands of scones every year. They are absolute pros at it. If you want our recipe, head to the website, of course. There you go.
And do the best scones come from Scone?
Probably.
Yep.
And where is Scone, Nick?
It's in New South Wales.
It is. Okay, I reckon that's ready to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use this butter knife and the milk. With the butter knife, we're going to create a well, which basically means like a little hole. So who wants to create a well in the middle? There we go. And Angus, meanwhile, wash your hands down there. Good job. Okay, that is well done. Now pour the milk into the middle.
From a height?
From a height. Just a little bit at a time.
Or all at once, whatever works best.
Whatever works best. And we're going to use the butter knife to kind of combine the mix really nice and lightly. You don't want to overwork it, so a little bit at a time until it all combines.
It will go on strike if you overwork it.
It does, it does. Angus, do you want to start stirring that in?
Would pirates use scones to eat? Would they eat it?
Oh, I would think so, yeah.
Good question. Well, considering the simplicity of the ingredients, pirates might get in there on the scones. Okay, do you want to have a go as well,
Good way
Sophie?
to stop scurvy, actually, as well, so it's probably highly likely they did. Big in Scotland, actually, the scone. Yes, in fact, one of the earliest recipes, the scones, was from a Scottish cookbook.
Well, there you go. And the Scots are also responsible for that lovely shortbread that we eat as well. So they knew what to do with flour, didn't they? That's looking fantastic, Sophie. Well done. Now, just finish that off. We kind of want to combine everything together until it makes a really nice light dough, but not overwork it. So at this point, we're ready to bring out the flour and the rolling pins. You want to grab that for me, and the cookie cutter. All right, now we're going to pop a little bit of flour on the bench. Sophie, you can do that.
Just like dusting.
Just dust it.
Just dust.
A bit more.
Magical dust.
Pew, pew.
Let me help.
Very magical indeed. And now we're going to bring that out and just bring it together enough for it to be a blob, but not enough for it to be too combined. Oh, that feels really nice and buttery. Okay. Now we're ready to start cutting with this cookie cutter onto this tray over here. So I don't think that even needs a roll because it's actually already quite flat in terms of how much mix we have. So nice and gently. Great job. And now bring it out onto the tray. Lovely work, Sophie. All right, Angus, would you like to do one too? Excellent. Great job. Now at this point, I reckon we could get one more out of that one. Good work. And you can see they're still quite rough, and you might be thinking, that's weird, that doesn't look right, because they're not very uniform. But that's why you make your own scones, because it's that lack of uniformity and the crumbliness, excellent choice, that's going to make for a lovely, light, luscious scone. One more in there. Yeah. Now we're going to pop a little bit of milk on top. Why do you think we do that?
Or maybe it connects together and the milk makes it stronger.
Excellent. So the milk creates some bond, very true with the dough. And what else, Sophie, when we're baking? Why do we milk wash or egg wash?
Don't know.
Nick?
Because we've got a commercial agreement with a milk company.
The reason that we egg wash is because what that does is it creates a lovely golden top. So Angus, do you want to do these last few? And you can use egg if you want to, but there's no egg in the mix, so you may as well just use a bit of milk.
Perfect.
Now then we pop that into a preheated oven at 180 degrees for around about 12 minutes. But you can tell when your scone is ready because it's golden brown and cooked through. Nick?
Yes, sure.
Lovely.
Perfect. Ooh, it's quite hot in there, Maurizio. Ooh, 180. You can feel every degree. See you later.
Great job. And do you want to pop that over here?
Ooh.
And at this point, let's talk about what you might want to pop on your scone. So, Angus, what's your favourite topping for a scone?
I'm not very sure. Probably ice cream?
Oh,
Some
nice.
ice cream, like an ice cream sandwich scone. Very ingenious. Well, we don't have any ice cream, but we do have a form of cream, a couple of forms of cream to choose from, in fact. We've got some butter that we've made, as well as some whipped cream. And Sophie, what about you? What do you like to pop on your scones?
Jam.
Jam, a fine choice, madame. Do you have a jam favourite?
Not really.
All of the jam. All right, well, we've got some raspberry jam for you, as well as these lovely scones. Now, the key when you're eating scones is wait for them to cool a little bit and then break them through the middle. And a really good scone breaks perfectly in half instead of cutting. And that's when you can pop the fillings on top. Do you want to do the honours? Yeah. Wonderful. And Angus, I'm not going to leave you out. Do you want a buttered scone?
Yep.
Lovely, break it up. Let's break this one up for you. Excellent. And you've got to be very gentle with these scones, of course. And we've got a butter knife for some butter. So we can pop some whipped cream on top as well. Sophie, do you want to pop some whipped cream on your scone?
Just check it's whipped cream and not shaving cream.
A little bit on there. You're making like a little scone sandwich. What do you think? Is this something you might like to make for afternoon tea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding, or the eating in this case. Why don't you give it a taste? See what you think.
How's that, Angus? Home run, as you'd say?
I can taste butter, sweetness, and a bit of sugar. And a bit of love.
Oh, just a bit of love. We put heaps of love in there, just a little bit.
And what about you, Sophie? What can you taste?
It tastes like shortbread.
It tastes like shortbread, a very short recipe. Very good. Well, speaking of short, we're going to finish off these scones in the mouth, and we'll be back right after this short break.
Come on, crunch time.